here are the headlines for tonight's edition. Bintulu to become Sarawak's powerhouse in energy generation by 2028. A new bill was drafted to better manage entry points around the country. And the UNSC to convene and vote for Palestine's membership in the UN. Our top story. The United Nations Security Council will convene and vote tomorrow in regard to Palestine's application to become a full UN member state. Amid Israel's military offensive in Gaza, the Palestinians in early April revived a membership application first made to the world body in 2011, though the veto-wielding United States has repeatedly expressed opposition to the proposal.
The United States has reiterated its stance against full Palestinian membership, emphasizing the need for statehood to be achieved through negotiations with Israel. The U.S. is piling pressure on the UN, referring to laws within the U.S. that require them to reduce their funding to the UN if there's no bilateral agreement in place. Israeli Ambassador Gilad Erdan vehemently opposed the Palestinian bid for membership, characterizing it as a validation of terrorism. He unabashedly reiterates the previous Hamas attack on October 7, which resulted in significant casualties in Israel, and underscores Israel's defensive measures in response. Despite having observer status since 2012, the Palestinians have long sought full membership in the United Nations, viewing it as their natural and legal right, as expressed by the Palestinian ambassador to the UN, Riyad Mansour. The UN General Assembly can admit a new member state with a two-thirds majority vote, but only after the Security Council gives its recommendation. With 137 out of 193 UN member states already recognizing a Palestinian state, there is optimism among Palestinians that the request will garner support in a General Assembly.
The Home Ministry is set to draft a bill aimed at establishing a coordinating agency among various relevant agencies to manage the nation's entry points. According to Unity Government spokesperson Fahmi Fazil, this initiative was deliberated during Wednesday's cabinet meeting, and it was emphasized that the agency would be granted legal authority to operate with sufficient power. He said this in a media conference earlier today, in response to a question about whether the cabinet addressed the shooting incident at Terminal 1 of Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA on Sunday. Fahmi also added that the cabinet is leaving the matter regarding the shooting incident to the authorities to pursue further actions. Now back in Sarawak, Bintulu is set to generate 1,500 megawatts of electricity by 2028, utilizing gas turbine cycles through the expansion of the Samalaju Industrial Park, or SIP. Premier Sarawak, Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tunapeng, said this electrical power supply expansion will be commissioned in 2028 with the power plant implementation starting today.
Jadi fasa pertama 1000 megawatt. Fasa kedua akan kita komisionkan juga pada 2028. Tambahan 500 megawatt. Bermakna Bintulu akan berencana kuasa elektrik 1,500 megawatt.
Meanwhile, Abang Johari revealed that Petronas has fulfilled their responsibilities in boosting gas production.
Dan pihak Petronas dan juga rakan-rakan kita yang lain telah dapat menunaikan tanggungjawab mereka untuk menaikkan gas daripada 450 million scarf kepada 1,200 million scarf.
Abang Johari said this in his speech during the Hari Raya Aidilfitri gathering organized by Bintulu Development Agency BDA earlier today.
Meanwhile, Premier of Sarawak Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Dunopeng announced plans to upgrade and expand the Samalaju Industrial Park within the next 5 years. According to him, the move aims to attract more investors to Samalaju as well as the city of Bintulu.
Kedua, disebabkan kita membesarkan Samalaju, infrastrukturnya hendaklah kita sediakan.
Abang Johari also said that Bintulu is also undergoing a transformation through rapid development of modern infrastructure.
Alhamdulillah, tadi saya melihat dari Belon, si lama lagi jambatan kita bersambung. Ialah jambatan yang begitu cantik rekaannya. Dan mari saya madah, mungkin Bintulu akan mempunyai jambatan macam San Francisco.
The Bintulu Jepat Bridge project has reached 78.04% completion as of April 12, 2024. The Sarawak Public Works Department JKR said that when completed, the bridge will shorten the journey between Bintulu town and Bintulu Airport by 6.4 kilometres. On Monday, Sarawak JKR Director Dr. Richard Tajan and his entourage visited the Bintulu Jepat Bridge construction site.
The Sarawak government is aiming to generate electricity by harnessing kinetic energy from ocean waves. Premier of Sarawak Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Dunopeng announced that the project will be implemented at a 35-kilometre jetty in Samalaju.
Kita letakkan power generation di laut menggunakan alunan gelombang. Ini adalah baru, saya pernah terfikir oleh orang. Tapi saya coba di Bintulu. Kalau berjaya, Bintulu lah satu-satunya tempat yang pertama di dunia menggunakan gelombang, mengeluarkan tenaga elektrik.
Abang Johari acknowledged that Sarawak has abundant water resources for wave generation that could be developed into a new economy in the state. In another development, he reiterated that the federal government will enact the Bintulu Port Act in June next year.
Dan saya ada rancangan untuk Bintulu Port ini. Tapi saya dapat madah kini tu. Biarlah saya nyimpan dulu. Tapi insyaAllah, apabila Bintulu Port diambil alih, saya ada rancangan. Dan ia menjadi satu hub yang terpenting di rantau Asia ini.
Now, the Kuching International Airport, KIA, needs to be on par with its international title. Sarawak Tourism, Creative Industry and Performing Arts Minister Datuk Seri Abdul Karim Rahman Hamzah called on to the Malaysia Airports Holding Berhad, or MAHB, to look into upgrading the facilities of the airport, including providing toilets and beverage kiosks for international departures.
Likewise, when you want to market yourself, there are a lot of important things that we have to do. Our toilets, our airport. I'm trying to push really our airport because personally I see our airport much to be desired. Much to be desired. I'm very, very upset. And that's why Airport Malaysia, MAB. Is it MAB or MAB? Don't only focus on KLIA. Kuching is also an international airport. KK is also an international airport. We do have visitors coming internationally from other places coming to Kuching. You must also look into all that, or else you will be doing a disservice to all those states that have got international airport, whether it's in Penang, whether it's in Sinai, whether it's in KIA, whether it's in KK.
While he is optimistic that more international tourist arrivals come July, the airport must have better entry point. On top of that, Karim also called for better infrastructures at the Bako National Park and Semengo Wildlife Centre, with the Pan-Borneo Highway looking to prospective visitors and national parks. As of March 2024, tourist arrivals to Sarawak saw an increasing trend, with 438,950 compared to 320,960 last year. The highest number of international tourists arrived from Brunei. Sarawak's tourism revenue also recorded 1.14 billion ringgit on March 2024, an increase from 817.75 million ringgit in the same month in 2023.
Now, excitement is building as Sarawak's business events industry prepares to make a strong return at IMEX Frankfurt, Germany, this coming 14th to 16th May 2024, with innovative event solutions to position Sarawak as a top-tier, impact-driven business events destination in the ASEAN region. Karim revealed this year's IMEX talking point is Impact, with a mission to bringing the global events community together to do business and drive solutions on big issues challenging the people and planet.
This is the second year Sarawak will be setting up its own pavilion in IMEX, just like in ITB Berlin also. Before this, we used to be under the Malaysian pavilion, but the last 2 years, we have been on our own. I think we have sudah membesar. We are prepared to lead on our own, marketing on our own. So we have our own pavilion, apart from the Malaysian pavilion, I believe.
Karim remarked that IMEX Frankfurt is a prominent trade show to promote Sarawak as a business events destination, and while making Sarawak a household name for anything tourism, events and adventure globally. Sarawak Pavilion theme, business events support community development, celebrates the industry's focus on leading social and economic change through business events. This year's co-exhibitors include Borneo Adventure, Borneo Convention Centre Kuching, Cat City Holidays, Hemisphere Hospitality, Place Borneo, Pullman Miri Waterfront Hotel, and Pullman Kuching Hotel.
The state government has approved a total of 600 million ringgit to implement various development projects in Sarike via the Rajang Development Authority Agency, or RADA. 6 districts in the division will receive 1/6 of the allocation channeled through its respective Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS state assemblymen. And according to RADA's chairman, Datuk Len Talif Saleh, these projects are developed to raise the standards of social and economic well-being of the people. And before any projects are implemented, it will be evaluated and monitored by local authorities to ensure suitability and transparency.
Kita mempunyai peruntukan 100 juta untuk projek sedemikian juga. Untuk 41 N41 Kuala Rajang. Wabi Yusuf 41 juta untuk kedua kawasan 42 dan 41. Dan Alhamdulillah kita mempunyai di Serikit itu aja, ahli parlimen kita ada 100 juta juga. Ahli repok ada 100 juta juga. Bagaimana di Serikit itu, daerah Serikit itu aja, termasuklah daerah Pakan, bahagian Pakan, daerah Pakan dan Julau dan Beradung. Mun dikira semuanya, hampir 600 juta. Peruntukan yang sudah dilulus.
He spoke during the Aidilfitri program with local leaders at the Kampung Seberang Multipurpose Hall on Tuesday. Len, who is also Kuala Rajang Assemblyman, said the funds do not include those that have been allocated to develop the Sarike Bukit Kinyau Road, which cost 80 million ringgit.
Now, the body of a 57-year-old man identified as Lah Wan was discovered floating in a lake near Lakeshore in Snadin this morning, raising suspicions of homicide. The grim discovery was made by a member of the public collecting rubbish in the area around 9:45 a.m., who promptly alerted the authorities. Emergency services, including firefighters from Lutong Fire Station, led by 2nd Chief PBT Henry Juga, were swiftly dispatched to the scene. And upon arrival, 8 firefighters assisted in retrieving the victim's body from the lake. The operation, initiated after a notification from the police at 10:23 a.m., concluded at 11:38 a.m. Now, authorities have cordoned off the area and launched an investigation into the incident. And according to preliminary findings, it suggests signs of indicative potential homicide rather than a natural death. Police are on the lookout for a local man suspected of sexually assaulting a 6-year-old girl. Identified as 38-year-old Andrew Jarrao, the suspect is being pursued by authorities following a report received by Sri Aman Police Chief DSP Matthew Mangi at 6:43 p.m. on April 10th. And according to Mangi, the incident occurred in an old cemetery area at Kampong Kubal in Betong, after which the suspect fled.
According to him, Jarrao is currently on the police's wanted list and that the police are actively pursuing leads to locate and apprehend the suspect. Background checks revealed that the suspect has 3 previous drug-related offences. The case is being investigated under Section 14(a) of the Sexual Offences Against Children Act 2017. Individuals with information regarding the case are encouraged to contact the Assistant Investigating Officer at the numbers shown on screen or to visit the nearest police station.
A government servant in Perlis arrested for bribe, and in world news, the UK has proposed the G7 nation to sanction Iran due to conflict with Israel. All that and more right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MACC arrested an employee of the Perlis State Fisheries Office who is believed to have received monthly monetary returns from a company 2 years ago. According to an MACC source, the 44-year-old man is believed to have received bribes amounting to 800 ringgit monthly as an inducement so that the Fisheries Department would not take action against the offences committed by the company's fishing boats. The source said a total of 6 money transactions were made to the bank account of the Marine Assistant Grade A19 around 2022. He said the man was arrested when he appeared to give his statement at the Perlis MACC office here at 2:45 p.m. Meanwhile, Perlis MACC Director Muhammad Nur Ada Abdulkani confirmed the arrest and said a remand application for the suspect would be made tomorrow. The Argus House is informed that the Home Ministry is deploying personnel from the Royal Malaysian Police PDRM General Operation Force GOF to conduct patrols at airports nationwide. Transport Minister Anthony Loke adds that Malaysia Airports Holding Berhad or MAHB are also working with the police to enhance the safety and security measures for passengers at the airports.
They have given us a report and they will be in touch with the police to strengthen the security measures in airport. So, of course, incident like this is, of course, nobody expected. But I'm sure MHB will step up their security measures in order to ensure the safety and security of the passengers. So Cabinet was informed that KDN has actually deployed PGA to patrol airports.
Lok added that it is up to the Home Ministry whether the deployment is permanent or just a short-term measure.
It's up to KDN. I mean, I'm not in a position to comment whether this is a permanent or a long-term measure. But PGA has been deployed to make more patrol in the airport area. But of course, overall, both police and MHB will sit down to look at other measures. What are the better measures in terms of improving securities and ensuring that our security measures are improved in KLIA.
He highlighted that security matters at the airport do not lie under MAHB's purview and that the airport vicinity, especially where the shooting incident occurred, falls under the domain of the security force, particularly the police. In the shooting incident that occurred at 1:30 a.m. on Sunday at Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA Terminal 1, a man fired 2 shots at his wife as they stood at the entrance of the arrival hall. Fortunately, both shots missed his wife. However, one of the shots struck her bodyguard in the abdomen. The injured man has been admitted to the hospital and is reported to be in stable condition.
Welcome back. 20 activists from Malaysia will be part of the Break the Siege of Gaza mission with NGO Freedom Flotilla Coalition or FFC slated to take off from Istanbul by the end of this month. The chairman of Humanitarian Care Malaysia or MyCare, Datuk Seri Dr. Kamal Nasruddin Mustafa said 20 of them will be joining other activists from 30 different countries in Istanbul on April 18th for the final preparation.
3 ships, which include a 5,000 tons cargo ship and 2 passenger ships that could transport 1,000 people, are slated to sail on April 28th. Kamal disclosed that these ships will be carrying medical supplies, packed food, clothing, camp equipment, as well as several vehicles, including 8 ambulances. The 20 activists, he said, consist of hand-picked individuals from various fields, including human rights activists, doctors and members of the press. One of the participants, Dr. Fauzia Hassan, hopes that the mission will be successful in relieving the struggles of Palestinians in a war-torn country. For the record, FFC is a grassroots people-to-people solidarity movement composed of campaigns and initiatives from different parts of the world working together to end the illegal Israeli blockade of Gaza. Its main goal is to break Israel's long-standing illegal and inhumane blockade of the Gaza Strip, which has not only created an ongoing humanitarian crisis, but has deprived Palestinians in Gaza the right to health, safety and freedom of movement, among other fundamental human rights.
Over in the UK, British Foreign Secretary David Cameron urged G7 countries to impose new coordinated sanctions against Iran after its weekend attack on Israel. The United States said yesterday it would soon impose fresh sanctions on Iran's missile and drone program following the weekend assault, and that it expected its allies and partners to follow with parallel measures.
Britain's top diplomat argued Iran must be given a clear, unequivocal message over its support for Palestinian militant group Hamas, its Lebanon-based ally Hezbollah, and Yemen's Houthi rebels. Iran launched more than 300 missiles, drones and rockets against Israel over the weekend in what is said was retaliation for a deadly strike on Tehran's consulate in Damascus. Nearly all of the projectiles were intercepted and there was little damage. During his trip Wednesday to Israel, which coincided with a visit by German counterpart Annalena Baerbock, Cameron held talks with Israeli President Isaac Herzog and is set to meet other senior leaders and officials. They include Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Foreign Minister Israel Katz, as well as Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammed Mustafa. When asked about fears of a wider regional conflict, Cameron called the situation very concerning.
Dubai, the financial hub of the Middle East, faced substantial disruption as heavy storms triggered a widespread flooding across the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. The Dubai authorities have reported that the city's major highways are inundated with high levels of water, prompting advisories from citizens and airport passengers to avoid travel routes as the financial center still grapples with the aftermath of unprecedented rainfall.
Dubai's flagship carrier, Emirates Airline, has suspended all check-ins due to challenges faced by both staff and passengers in reaching the city. Flooded access roads and the suspension of some metro services have hindered travel to and from Dubai. Schools throughout the UAE were also closed. This closure was anticipated to extend as further storms, including the possibility of hail, were forecast. As of now, at least one person perished when he was swept away in his car in Ras Al Khaimah, one of the 7 emirates of the country. Meanwhile, in Oman, emergency authorities said the death toll have reached 18 people, including several children, with 2 people missing. Both the Emirati and Omani governments have previously cautioned that climate change is expected to result in increased instances of flooding. Climatologist Federica Otto, an expert in evaluating the influence of climate change on extreme weather events, said that it was highly likely that global warming had exacerbated the severity of the storms.
Wrapping up the Nightline, at least 65 people have died in storm-related incidents, including lightning in Pakistan, officials said, with rain so far in April falling at nearly twice the historical average rate. Heavy downpours between Friday and Monday unleashed flash floods and caused houses to collapse, while lightning killed at least 28 people.
The largest death toll was in northwestern Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where 32 people have died, including 15 children, and more than 1,300 homes have been damaged. Anwahan, the province's disaster management authority, said all the casualties there were the result of collapsed walls and roofs. Villagers whose homes were inundated with water were forced to seek refuge on higher ground, including on the shoulders of motorways, creating makeshift tents with plastic sheeting and bamboo sticks. Zahir Ahmad Baba, spokesman for the Pakistan Meteorological Department, said they had observed highly unusual rainfall patterns in April. Citing data from the past 30 years as comparison, he explained that from April 1st to April 17th, precipitation levels exceeded the historical average by 99%. Most of the country experienced a pause in rain on Tuesday and Wednesday, but more downpours are predicted in the coming days. Pakistan is increasingly vulnerable to unpredictable weather patterns, as well as often destructive monsoon rains that usually arrive in July.
And that's all the update for tonight's TVS Nightline. Once again, I'm Yusuf Shukri. Thank you for watching, and Assalamualaikum.